We all think we know what hospitality means, right? It's about having friends over, being a good host. But what if the original idea was something far more radical? What if it was less about entertaining friends and way more about embracing strangers? Today we're going to dive into the beautiful and honestly challenging art of true welcome.
So, let's just start with this one question. What if your home was more than just your private little refuge? Is it a fortress built to shut the world out? Or could it be a bridge designed to bring people in? Just keep that question in the back of your mind, because it's at the very heart of everything we're about to explore.
All right, to really get this, we've got to go back to the source. Let's completely redefine what we think hospitality means by looking at the original language.
Okay, get this. In the New Testament, the Greek word they used for hospitality is philoxenia. If you break that down, philo means love, and xenia means stranger. So it's not the love of friends, it's the love of strangers. This is not about entertaining people you already know and are comfortable with. It's a proactive, genuine love for the outsider, the newcomer. And that single shift in definition, oh man, it changes absolutely everything.
So where does this command to love strangers even come from? This isn't just some friendly suggestion, It's a deep, ancient mandate, and it's rooted in the very character of God himself.
The theological foundation here is really twofold. First, it's an act of imitation. The Psalms tell us that God himself watches over the sojourners. He literally sustains the stranger. So by welcoming others, we're actually reflecting God's own heart. And second, it's an act of remembrance. The people of Israel were told over and over again to care for the foreigner because they themselves were once vulnerable foreigners in Egypt. It's basically a command to pay it forward, to extend the same grace to others that they once desperately needed.
And this is not just some abstract idea. It is woven into the very fabric of the Old Testament. Think about it. You have Abraham who literally runs to serve 3 complete strangers. You've got Lot who's willing to risk it all to protect his guests in a super dangerous city. Rahab, an outsider herself, shelters foreign spies at great personal risk. And then there's Boaz, who shows this radical kindness to Ruth, a foreign widow with zero social standing. In every single one of these stories, hospitality isn't just a nice little gesture, it's a defining act of faith.
And this theme carries right on into the New Testament with this powerful reminder, which of course echoes back to Abraham's amazing story. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. The message is just stunningly clear that stranger you welcome could be a messenger from God. There's a sacred potential in every single encounter.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory. But how do we take this ancient idea and make it real in our 21st century lives? How does this radical love of the stranger actually start to take shape in our own homes, right now?
Well, it all starts with a huge mental shift. Just look at these 2 ideas. Is your home a private fortress with the drawbridge pulled up, designed to keep the world out? Or is it a ministry hub, a place where God's love actually flows out into the community? Seeing our homes and our stuff as resources to be stewarded for others, not hoarded for ourselves, that's the first and most important step.
And this is where theology gets incredibly practical. Just look at how these massive ideas connect directly to our family life. The sovereignty of God, that means my stuff isn't really mine. I'm just managing it for Him. The covenant of grace, well, we welcome others because God welcomed us first when we were the outsiders. And the priesthood of all believers, that completely transforms our homes into sanctuaries, where just serving a meal becomes a powerful act of worship.
So what does this actually look like day to day? It could be as simple as what some people call an open table ministry. And this is not about throwing a perfect fancy dinner party every night. Nope. It's about simply planning to have an extra seat at the table. It's about intentionally looking around for people who might be lonely, a college student, a single neighbor, an elderly person from church. It just means being ready with a welcoming heart and maybe some extra pasta in the pantry just in case.
But here's the thing. It's not just what we do, it's how we do it. The attitude behind our welcome is everything. And let's be honest, this is where most of us can get tripped up.
Modern hosting can so often be about performance. The perfect house, the gourmet meal, a flawless presentation. But biblical hospitality, it's all about presence. It's not about putting on a show, it's about giving of yourself. It prioritizes the relationship way above the presentation. It chooses authenticity, even in a messy house, over stressful, exhausting perfection. And the Apostle Peter adds this incredibly direct, almost blunt detail. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling. Wow. That gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? True hospitality has to come from a joyful, willing spirit, not from a sense of, I guess we have to do this. If it feels like a burden, that's probably a good sign that we're focused more on the performance than we are on the person.
So ultimately, this whole thing is about building a family culture. It's not about hosting a few dinners here and there. It's about weaving this radical welcome into the very DNA of your family, so it shapes who you all are.
And really, the best way to do that is to get everyone involved. We can teach our kids that setting the table isn't just another chore, it's a real act of service for your guest. We can model how to ask good questions and then actually listen to the answers. And maybe most importantly, we can pray for our guests together, as a family, before they even arrive. That just reminds everyone that this is a spiritual act powered by God.
This brings us full circle right back to the radical nature of philoxenia. The love of strangers ultimately pushes us way beyond our comfort zones. It's not just for the newcomers at church, but for our actual neighbors. It extends to the marginalized people in our society. And in its most radical form, just as Jesus taught, it even extends to those we might consider an enemy.
And so this is the question I really want to leave you with. As you look at your own life, your street, your community, who is the stranger that you are being called to welcome? Because the answer to that question, well, it just might change everything.